This is the plaintiff, Nanette. She says the defendant, a very nasty and arrogant former tenant of hers, deliberately damaged the apartment she rented him. The guy poured caustic chemicals down the shower drain, stole things out of the place which belonged to her, and she's here in the name of all landlords suing him for every penny of the $5,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Alan. He says the plaintiff likes to paint herself to look like she's a nice, responsible landlord, but that's not true. The woman spends more time in court suing tenants than she does landlording. He did nothing wrong when he moved out, and if anyone here is owed money today, it's him. He's accused of being a terrible tenant. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for all he's out.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says her former tenant maliciously damaged the unit, pouring caustic chemicals down the shower drain. The defendant says the plaintiff is a crappy landlord. It's the case of this relationship went down the drain on.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Nanette,
Yes.
you are suing Alan for $5,000 in damages that you say he did to the place that you rented to him. Was this an apartment?
Yes.
Tell me what happened. And you have counterclaim against her for $5,000 for lost wages and inconvenience. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I rented him a brand new apartment out of construction. It was missing.
Out of construction, what does that mean?
This means just finished.
He was
from
the first person to move in.
Yes, and it had some minor touches, finishing touches, and he wanted to move in right away. And he pressured to move before the first of the month. We were still working, so.
How long was he living there?
7 months.
Okay.
And
Did he have a
couple
lease?
days. No, I didn't give him a lease. And
So it was a
didn't
month
care.
to month, and then when did the problems begin?
He was always nervous, always a bomb ready to explode. But
Always a bomb ready to explode.
Always nervous, always
Nervous?
very hot temper, neurotically nervous.
Okay, but over what? Like what were the kinds
Just by himself. Even people would say, like people renting the backyard for other cars, he's always walking around angry. He looks angry, you know?
Okay.
Okay, fine, but you could be kind. He's not kind person.
Okay, so when do the problems start, though, that has to do with the rental agreement?
Okay, he wanted a dishwasher, and I said that I'm not giving more than the stove, very nice stove, and high-end.
Okay, let me ask the question differently. Did there come a time when he
refrigerator.
stopped paying rent?
Well, he wanted the dishwasher.
Are you out any rent?
At
No.
this time, no.
At this time, no. Okay. But at some point, you were out several months of rent, and so you went to
No,
eviction court, right?
Just half a month, but with his attitude, and he was obnoxious. He was making excuses to put obstacles that we will not meet his conditions.
That way he wouldn't have to pay rent?
Maybe the rent, maybe he's
All right, so you go to court, and what
I don't
happens
know
in
what's his
court?
pleasure.
What happens in eviction court?
He was thrown out of court by the clerk. I don't know
Why
how.
was he thrown out of court?
Something with the phone, and I didn't follow from the beginning. But she went right away to him because it wasn't the
Oh,
first
because he
time.
was using the phone in a courtroom?
I think so, and it wasn't
All
the
right,
first
just
time. but I didn't know exactly what.
focus. Okay, so here's what I want to know.
Yes.
So he ends up paying you all the rent, and then he leaves. He's moved out, right? Okay, you are here suing for the damages to the place, correct?
Yes.
Let's go through the damages. All right, do you have pictures for me to see? Can I see the paperwork from the case you filed for him for eviction? Do you have that paperwork on you?
No, it's with the attorney.
Okay. One of the things you're suing for here is attorney's fees in that case. You need to sue in that case for attorney's fees. You can't get them here. You have to get them in that case.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what you got here. Same with Marshall's fees. That goes in that case.
That case,
Okay.
I put.
What is this a picture of? What's
That's
that?
the floor with a lot of gook on it. I don't know if chemical was added to it. It was very hard to clean.
Here's what we're going to do. I need you to come right here.
And water.
Come right here. Okay. What is this right here?
This is gook coming out of the radiator. There is a valve here. And that valve, you could open it and close it as you need more or less heat.
I guess you're implying that he switched it so that the water would
Not only
leak?
that, there was something under the radiator to raise it high one side so it will drain better.
Right,
the water come in
and what?
drain.
And what?
And when he removes that...
Did he remove that?
Yeah. Because
What is this?
This is another room. He did the same thing.
What's all this other garbage around there?
He left the garbage.
These are the walls? This
Yeah.
wall was damaged with something, maybe in a
Scratched.
move
It
out,
looks like a
scratched
big
up.
Scratch.
Took the fire.
He took it and threw it on the floor because I found it on the floor broken.
Okay. What is this?
There's another picture, the blue one. This is how it looked. And when we tried to rinse it, I thought it's going to wash out.
What
Now
is
when
that?
I don't know. I don't know what exactly it was. And when we washed it out, it became yellow.
Right.
And the more
What is
we
this?
washed it, it stained. Scratches on the wall. I don't know what it meant.
Oh, these look deliberate. These don't even
Yeah,
look...
that's why I'm upset. I mean,
Go ahead and go back. What's going on? Go ahead and go back. What's going on?
May I see those?
Yeah. Stay where you are, please.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Can I see the estimates for repair to back up all the numbers you're asking for?
I'm sorry, sure. This was after he agreed on paying this. He called me
Okay, I'd like to hear about what your response is to the pictures that I'm looking at, because these are pretty bad. Somebody took paint and dropped it on the bottom of the shower thing to ruin it completely. Somebody, switched something on the radiators to make water leak and cause this tremendous gunky mess, and there's junk everywhere. What happened here?
You used a word that I'm very happy that you used. Somebody. My question is, who was that somebody?
No, that's my question.
Unfortunately, the pictures of the bathroom only show the floor of the bathroom. What they do not show is the fact that there are no valves to turn on the water in the shower because the shower was never properly hooked up. We discussed, and she agreed to get me a dishwasher for the apartment. The apartment was wired and plumbed for it. She got a dishwasher. She had a gentleman that did work for her who used to come at 9:30 to 10 o'clock at night to do the work in the house even after I had moved in because of his schedule. Brought a dishwasher in, hooked it up. It did not work. We couldn't figure out. I called the manufacturer. I actually got the serial number off it. They told me this dishwasher was on the order of 30 years old. I said, fine.
Okay, I'm sorry. You ended up paying every penny. You withheld rent because of the things you're talking about, but then she files an eviction and you paid every penny of the rent. So these issues are resolved. I'm here on one thing and one thing only. She says you trashed the place out of a vendetta when you left. So my question to you is, what am I looking at? Because I'm looking at a lot of damage, a lot of junk, a lot of damage.
Okay,
Looks like somebody poured stuff on the floors, poured stuff in the shower stall.
The radiators were leaking. It's something that I brought to her attention.
You couldn't possibly have lived in it looking like that. That's something that someone did when they left. Because you couldn't possibly live with the wet stripe on the floor of the mix of the shellac and I don't know what the heck else that is.
That was leaking from the radiators. When I discovered this, I closed the radiator. I left it there initially to bring to her attention because that was the situation with the radiator.
Okay, listen
the
to me.
radiators each...
If you can't use that room with that enormous leak of going right through the center of the room, every time you stepped in it, you would track it everywhere else. So I don't believe that you lived there with that looking like that. I just don't believe it.
First of all, it was not that extensive when I was living there. Second of all, what I basically had to do...
Do you have a picture of the place when you left it so I can see how clean you left it?
No.
Is that your junk there?
Excuse me. I might have on my cell phone, if I might have 1 minute. I don't know what that is. My question also is...
Who did all that stuff to the walls?
I'm still trying to figure out which walls these are. The only thing I see here that makes any sense to me on these pictures of walls is the receptacle for the smoke detector, which I had taken down because it was defective.
So you were being helpful?
I was tired of every single time I went to cook something on the stove, it going off.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know which walls these are. I don't know what this is. I don't know where this came from. As for the floor of the shower,
Someone deliberately threw some kind of chemical. What do you do for a living?
I'm a dentist.
Someone deliberately threw some kind of chemical or paint or something to destroy the shower stall. It now has to be replaced over this. Are you suggesting that she would destroy her own property just to be able to come to court and have a lawsuit against you when she just got paid in the eviction case already?
100%.
Why though? Why not damage it and then you don't have to pay to fix it?
Why did she provide me with a dishwasher that was 30 years old? Why had she not, knowing that I was living there, already hooked up the second shower so that I could use it? I was paying rent for a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment that is supposed to include 2 functional working showers. I only had 1 functional working shower.
This is all the kind of stuff you say to the judge before you paid all that rent on why you didn't have to pay rent. I am here over damages that appear to be deliberate, which is the part that's flooring me, Dr. Allen. I'm like floored about this because it appears to be deliberate, you just keep harping on. I didn't have a working shower. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. You're just proving what her theory is, which is that you're just vindictive and you were angry at the result in the eviction court, and so now you ended up leaving it in this kind of a state of damage.
May I show you some pictures?
Yeah, I want to see it because I'm just hand it to my bailiff. Hand it to my bailiff.
That's fine.
That's the hallway in the foyer of the house.
Okay.
I filed a complaint with the Housing Preservation Department because of situations in the house that existed in terms that there were open, exposed wires all over the place.
Okay.
Why was she leaving that like that?
I need to move him, Your Honor.
Do you hear me?
I need to move
Come
him.
to the podium. Come to the lectern. Okay.
I hear
Are you
100%
listening?
what
Did you
you're
do
saying.
that damage?
No.
If not you, then who?
I don't know.
Why would she do it?
Because she's vindictive.
You used a word that I'm very glad you used. Vindictive.
Does it make sense that the landlord would damage her own unit so she could blame it on the guy?
No. Why would you want to damage your own property? And there's no guarantee you're going to get that money back.
That's a good rhetorical question, and I agree with you. Going inside the courtroom.
May I ask a question?
Show me the receipts for everything. Did you hand those up already?
Knowing that I gave her all the money for the rent, why would she take me to Supreme Court to collect money for rent after the fact?
Okay.
This woman
Your
lives in
counterclaim
court. against
her is for $4,000 in lost wages and $1,000 in inconvenience.
Yes.
Okay, please prove your case.
Well, the fact that I've lost a full day's work today for the
You
time
make
that I'm here.
$4,000 a day?
I can make more than $4,000 a day.
Well, you're going to have to prove that now.
I'll have to show you my calendar showing. May I have my cell phone back?
Unless your calendar has numbers, it's not going to help.
My calendar shows procedures that were done with various patients, and I can tell you how much I billed for those procedures.
Okay. And what's $1,000 for inconvenience? Don't bother. What's $1,000 for inconvenience?
The inconvenience was, well, actually, I modified. Oh, no, I took that from there. The inconveniences were paying rent for a second bathroom that was non-functional, paying rent for a dishwasher that was not functional, paying rent for lighting on the house that was not functional, paying rent for not having a doorbell on an apartment. These are things that I believe are supposed to come standard with an apartment.
Okay, let me ask you a question. This is a photocopy of a check, and it says $27 shower rod. What's this about?
He needed the shower rod, so he bought it, and I allowed him to reduce the money. But then he took it with him.
And then he took it with him. And what happened with the doorbell?
Another tenant came out to see upstairs, and they couldn't come during the day they work. So I told them, call me, don't ring the bell, please. Because by mistake they rang it, and they said, I'm sorry, because he opened the door and he screamed at me, but before I opened the door...
I have no idea what you're saying. What is wrong with the doorbell?
The tenant, by mistake, instead of ringing or calling me as I instructed them not to ring the bell so they don't ring the wrong bell, they rang his bell.
They rang his bell?
At 8:30.
At 8:30
so late,
p.m.
He was watching TV.
And what happened?
He screamed at me as I was going to open the door. And I said, they could come, they're going to see the apartment. I said, it's not so
What
late.
happened to the doorbell?
He threw it after they went
Yeah, that's the part you're skipping. That's the part I need to hear. So what happened to the
into the
So
hallway
he
going
damaged the
upstairs.
doorbell?
Yeah, I picked it out and
Okay, got it.
threw it into the door,
What she's failing to say is that there was one doorbell for 2 apartments, and that if you rang the doorbell, it rang in both apartments.
So that's why you ripped it out?
I removed the buzzer from the outlet, and I just placed it on the floor inside the hallway, in the hallway
threw
leading
it.
to the upstairs apartment.
There was 2 of them. He threw both of them.
Okay, I've had it. All right. Here's what's going to happen. I am not, on your counterclaim against her, 0. On your claim against him, I am not going to award attorney's fees or marshal fees. Those are things for the other case. Okay? And I'm also not going to award $1,936 in inconvenience. Inconvenience is not a cause of action. As to the remaining damages, I am ruling in your favor. $2,507, verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff prevails for $2,500, I think it is. Dr. Allen, I got to ask you, how does it feel to be described as a bomb ready to explode? That's the way she talked about you. What's your reaction to that?
I look at from where it's coming.
Okay. We never did hear who caused the damage. You have any idea who caused that damage in the shower?
I have no idea.
You didn't do it. You never said you didn't do it.
Well,
You didn't?
no, I said I didn't do it, and there was no proof presented that I did do it.
No, that's true. And you don't know who did it then. You think she did it. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, the judge believed her. You're on the hook. $2,500. Sorry about that. Okay?
Not your fault.
Not mine. Thank you very much. You have to sign a few documents, maybe even a check. Who knows? Here comes Nanette. How do you feel about the outcome? You all right now?
Yes, thank you.
Do you have a lot of problems with tenants?
No, I usually give them what they want.
Yeah?
But we can jump.
He says you spend a lot of time in court. Is that true?
Well, I sued him beforehand because
Yeah.
I know he's leaving. I
You
wasn't
sue a lot of
gonna-
other tenants?
No,
Just wondering. Okay.
because I wasn't gonna find him,
Okay.
and he paid me only because
He had to. Court said he
to,
did.
to postpone the date of the eviction.
All right. Thank you very much. You two must
thank
sign some documents. Now, Harvey, what do you think about this case?
I got to say, Doug, he is lucky that she did not ask for punitive damages, which you can get for fraud, oppression, or malice. This, to me, is a classic case of maliciousness, and he would have been on the hook.